Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Crusader Kings 3, Wards and Wardens. So at the start of today's episode, we need to get our issues with having too many holdings sorted out. And we are going to go ahead and give out Lisboa. I know we worked really hard to convert it and to get the control up. Took a long time, but it makes sense we do that first before we hand it off to a new duke here who's going to manage most of this territory for us. And then we're going to try and do the same here, get the control up and go ahead and get them converted. I don't know if we'll keep that one. Yeah, we'll probably keep this one as well, and we'll just convert them both. That is going to hit our income, of course, because we're giving out two more profitable locations, but I'm looking at this in a more long term. As you see, the development here is much higher. Probably have to face some rebellions here too, so we'll have to put those down. But yeah, in the long term, I think these are going to be more profitable. So we're going to be granting this out, and we're going to create a new duke over here. Now, there's not a lot of great options as we've seen before. You got this character here, the Chaste is his nickname, and he's the only one who has a male heir. And so I think we should probably grant it to him. This guy here is actually in a faction currently. He has two daughters. We've seen that he also has two daughters, one who's currently married to a count already. So this could cause some problems because his children would inherit not just his titles but also ours. And it's hard to say exactly what's going to happen, whether he would become under us or if we would lose this territory to France. It would depend on the crown authority of the two realms as well as which one he inherited first. So it's hard to say what would happen there, so let's not even get mixed up in that. Same deal here. It's just a female heir, which could cause problems. You just don't know what's going to happen when it's a female heir. And so it makes the most sense to grant it to him. Also, it neighbors him. But yeah, by doing this, we get rid of this guy who's created some problems while he is a very good knight. And so it will be unfortunate that we lost him. We can always get other knights. And so yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and give the two titles to him. This should make him hopefully fairly happy with us because you get rid of that one penalty for the negative 25 because he wants the duchy. You also get rid of the negative 15 from too many duchies, and then you get the bonuses from giving him the county and the duchy. That's 100 plus opinion, so he should really like us, you'd think. Yeah, plus 100. So now we have a good loyal vassal, though he'll likely want a spot on the council, and unfortunately the job he'd be best at is where that mayor is stuck. The one who's got the strong hook on us and forced himself into the stewardship position. So let's go and start working on these two provinces here. We need to get them converted and also get the control up over here because it's pretty low at 60. Here's 53. So yeah, there's a lot more profit we could be getting from there. You can see we're not doing great on money now, so we won't be able to do any wars for a little while until we kind of improve the current situation. And we also have to keep the mayor doing the collect taxes. I do want to start going back to increasing development, but obviously that's not really an option at the moment. Now you see we're still one county above our holding limit, and we're going to get rid of this one here. And we're going to be granting this duchy, the Duchy of Alsace, to our brother. Remember, he lost, this is the Prince Magnus, he lost his titles over here, and then his son lost those titles as well. And now his daughter currently has them. We've already arranged a betrothal here to ensure that this will stay in our dynasty. Now, a lot of people wanted me to give Magnus, well, not a lot of people, it was two people who wanted me to give Magnus the kingdom over here. But there's some issues with that. If we give him the kingdom, all it takes is one thing to happen, and we lose not only this, but also the entire Duchy of Luxembourg. So all that needs to happen is she just needs to be overthrown. And then her brother gets the title back. And then he dies, and he inherits this title and thus becomes a king, and then takes the Luxembourg titles with him. Only one thing needs to happen. She just needs to be overthrown. And we've seen that happen with both her father and her brother, so it's really not that unlikely. And so why would we risk losing all of Luxembourg to make our brother the king over here? Just doesn't make any sense. It's too risky, and there's just better ways to do it, guys. So yeah, we're not going to give him this kingdom, but we will give him something, kind of make up for him losing that title. And plus, does he really deserve getting a kingdom after he lost control of his duchy? and then clearly failed to help his son keep the duchy as well, since he's still there, like teaching them and stuff and managing things for him. So yeah, he's kind of a failure. So we're not going to give him a full kingdom. Instead, we're going to give him a duchy, and that's going to be the Duchy of Alsace. And we're going to start by giving him this county, but we still have this issue here that we have to deal with, where, you know, this guy, he technically is supposed to be under this duke, but we don't want the duke to get this. We want our brother to get this. So the first thing we're going to have to do is something a little bit tyrannical here, but it's okay because we could take a bit of tyranny, and it won't matter that his opinion is going to be a down because he's not going to be under us anymore. And he would actually accept this without a conflict, which is really the key here. I don't want to have to fight a rebellion over this. And yeah, he's willing to accept because he's terrified of us. And so we're just going to take the title and thus get the 12 tyranny. Go ahead and revoke that. And then we'll be changing up the arrangement here of titles. All right, so let's go ahead and let the game play so that those can take place. I tell you what, guys, I've come to hate these travel events. There's not that many of them. You're just seeing them over and over and over again. It is really annoying. And I didn't know that I'd hate them this bad, but after you've been playing with the travel mechanic for a little while now, at first it was a little annoying, but it's become really annoying to me. Just seeing the same event over and over and over again. There's like 10 of them. I mean, maybe more than that, but it feels like there's like 10, and you just see them because you travel so often. You see them so much. There's actually one travel event I've been keeping a running tally as we go through this series, just because I'm curious how many times I'm going to see it in this Let's Play. So every time I see it, I mark a little tally on here. And we're at only 11:14, and I've seen this event 19 times. 19 times, guys. The same damn event. It's ridiculous. And yeah, I just really come to dislike the travel events now. I wish I could kind of turn them off because I'm so irritated with them. But anyway, this is for a marriage here. This duke, he's sterile, so he doesn't have any children. He doesn't even have a wife, and thus his sister's going to be inheriting. So I went ahead and arranged a marriage, in which they would only accept this matrilineal marriage. I would have done the regular marriage, but he wouldn't accept it. And this was a guy in our court who wasn't really doing anything. He's kind of impressive. Not a great knight though. So he wasn't serving us as a knight, and that was really the only thing he could do for us. But yeah, he's pretty impressive, so I feel like he deserves to be rewarded here with the chance to have his children inherit, and really they just needed somebody here. And so that was the only guy we had. He was also the youngest guy, or second youngest guy we had. So it wasn't really a lot of options for marriages there. And I feel like I should have kept the tally for this event, because it seems like I've seen this one more times. I don't know how many times I've seen it, because again, I haven't been counting, but a lot. Should have been kept for this one. But we're going to do this option here, and we win the fight, and now he's going to be one of our knights, kind of help replace the knight we lost, although obviously nowhere near as good there. Yes, we took this title here, and so now we can go ahead and change this up. We're going to be giving him to this duke here, so we're going to grant him the vassal that he wants, get rid of him, so you no longer have to worry about him not liking you, which he's also one of our powerful vassals, surprisingly, with only the 2 counties there. You'd think that somebody else would. For instance, this duke here was not a powerful vassal despite being a duke and also having 2 counties. That's kind of strange. But it's weird how they determine who's the powerful vassal. I'm not entirely sure it works the way it's supposed to. But anyway, we've now granted him the vassal that he wanted, and now we got 2 titles to give to our brother within this duchy here. And you'd hope that'd be enough for him not only to hold on to this, considering the fact that he's only going to have 1 vassal, and so you'd think he'd be able to hold on to it, but also maybe expand his territory and take this over. Possibility. So yeah, let's go ahead and get our brother selected. And then we could still see the same situation where she gets deposed and then he inherits, but at least it's just these 2 duchies that this family will inherit, rather than the situation where we completely lose the Duchy of Luxembourg, because that's a king that we made in Spain. So yeah, let's go ahead and give him these 2 territories, and we'll just have to see what happens with her. I mean, maybe she doesn't lose the territory. Who knows? All right, so we're going to grant him both the counties and the duchy there, as well as that vassal. And he already really loves us. We have a good relationship with our brother here. All right, so that fixes the issue. We're back down to 7 holdings, so don't need to give any more territory out. But the powerful vassal situation will likely change here, Though I'm not entirely sure what all we can do. Well, this Duke, he might have been a powerful vassal at some point. I don't know why he would have got replaced with this Count, though. Not entirely sure. But yeah, we currently have him as our Marshal, and he might actually become a powerful vassal again now that we gave him that other vassal. We'll just have to see. So we'll leave him there. And yeah, there's really nobody else to replace because these are two powerful vassals, and you can't replace this guy not until I think it's pretty far away. 1134. Yeah, a long time. But basically, it's this character. Again, just a count, though he does have 2 counties and a barony, so I'm not entirely sure why he's getting favored over this guy here. I know counties are pretty important, more important than duchies sometimes when it comes to who's considered the powerful vassal, but yeah, kind of strange, I feel, in this case, that he's the powerful vassal. He's not really all that good at anything. I'm not too worried about him being unhappy with us. She unsuccessfully furthered her mandate, so causing more strife. At least she's trying. She's trying to further the mandate when she's in power. And her wife is pregnant again. All right, excellent. So good news there. So there is a grand tournament we could attend. And what's interesting about our character is that he has a really decent prowess now. He didn't when we first started. And maybe this is something we could do. Yeah, since we don't really have a whole lot to work on right now because we're broke and we're not really earning much money. We got to fix the situation over here. It's surprising that a countess is able to throw this. She does have several counties here. I guess she was just sitting on a lot of money at the time. Yeah, these are kind of expensive, these grand tournaments. But it's only with 2 months to go. So yeah, let's attend. Though it's saying we would not arrive in time, it's still an option. So maybe we can improve the situation by either changing up our caravan master or perhaps hiring some mercenary guards. Yeah, it looks like that would be enough if we hired the mercenary guards. I could also take a look and see if there's anybody better for this position here. He's average. He's given a okay speed bonus here. But if we really wanted to focus on speed, it looks like he is the best option. Okay, so yeah, we'll go ahead and just pay the extra 30 gold so we can get there in time. I think it's worth doing because maybe we can win. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tournament events. There's a horse race and a recital. Okay, so we're going to try and triumph from this. Why not? And we already qualify for the horse race. All right, excellent. So that's good news. Although we're running behind schedule, so might not make it now. So we're going to have to hurry so that we can try and get there in time. And our spouse is back in the Regency as well. And we also have that rebellion, which we knew was going to be happening. And so we're going to have to fight that. And yeah, there's no reason why we need to cancel our travel plans here, considering the fact that we don't even generally lead our own troops. And we're going to keep him there. Remember, he's over here trying to find secrets here. And I haven't had any success on finding an actual secret on the Duke, who I'm hoping I can force into our faction. We'll have to see. And he can no longer increase the control there. This is actually a rather large rebellion. Well, that's surprising. I guess it's because the development here is pretty high. So yeah, I guess you would deal with a larger rebellion. Could just bring them from over here, but yeah, it makes more sense to instead raise them up a little bit closer. They could attack us right there. So maybe we should do it here just in case. Yeah, we'll do it right there. And we're only going to raise up the men-at-arms. I think that's all that's going to be necessary. And here's that travel event, the Metal Man. This is 20 times, guys, that I have seen the Metal Man in this series. Like, I don't want to see any event 20 times, but particularly not a dumb event like this. So yeah, it's just unfortunate that the mechanic works this way. We're callous, so we're just going to leave him to his fate here. Yeah, I just hate it. I just come to hate the system overall. So we can't let anybody rest and recover. We just don't have enough time here. So we can instead see if our doctor can treat this character here. Or maybe we would have done the other option there because we don't really care because we're callous. But yeah, the other problem is just the sheer number of travel events there are when you're going. Now they have reduced it some, so that has gotten a little bit better from when we did our first series with this mechanic. If you guys recall, it was so bad. It was, you couldn't get like through a day without getting a travel event, and so you end up having like every time you traveled like 10, 15 different events, although they often weren't all different. But yeah, there's a lot of events that fire, and they have decreased it, but it's still a lot and far too many, in my opinion. I suppose I've been griping a lot about the travel events in today's episode, but I gotta be honest, since CK3 release, I've never had any mechanic so hamper my enjoyment of the game. Like, it's really become annoying for me, whether I'm playing on camera or off. I just really don't like this mechanic, and I said that when it first released, when this expansion came out, that added the traveling, which I really liked that they added the travel mechanic, but it's the events. It needs to be said that this is bad. This is just poor game design. Who wants to see the same event over and over again? I don't know what Paradox was thinking. I don't know how they play the game and not notice how annoying this is. But anyways, got this event again, another one I've seen many times in this series. And it's just basically one of our characters here talking crap about us, and I think our character would probably put him in the dungeon, which is unfortunate because he's actually a claimed knight here. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. We have a fair reason, so nobody thinks we're a tyrant. Of course, that means that because we didn't have anybody to replace that position, it'll now be an inactive accolade, which I don't even know if there's anybody we can appoint for that right now. We need to invite some knights. So our niece is now allied to us. We wiped out that army really quickly. Again, these are larger rebellions, but certainly not too bad. Easy to put down here. So because we arrived so late, we didn't have any time to try and boost our chance to get into the race, which initially wasn't a problem because we had enough to qualify, but apparently, you know, all the contestants, they were doing events, and so they pushed us out. And so unfortunately, we will not be competing. We'll only be able to watch or place a bet. And I don't know, we don't really have a lot of money at the moment for placing bets, and I don't know, I wouldn't say we're exactly the gambler type, so we're just gonna watch it. Alright, so we should be able to get this battle done, and then hopefully we can compete in the next event. Although I guess that's the recital. I suppose we're not really excited about competing in the recital. I wanted to do the horse race. I don't think we've done a horse race in this series yet. Our wife has increased the feudal taxes of this countess over here, which I'm actually surprised she's under us. Apparently this is not part of that duchy. Okay, so this is a separate duchy. I thought she would end up going with with these other characters here and underneath our new duke, but that was not the case. All right, so probably not getting a lot of money from that, but everything helps. So with this over, now enforce our demands and disband that army since we cannot pay for it. And we need to take a look at our prisoners because we actually have quite a few in here. All right, so this guy's been in here for 5 years apparently. I think we tried to demand he got converted, or maybe I just forgot he was in here. He's actually a fairly decent marshal here. But we can't ransom him. That's not a choice. And so if he won't do the conversion, which he will, maybe I just never even checked with him. Yeah, we'll just demand the conversion here. And we don't want to recruit him or anything either, even though he is a pretty good marshal. He's not a good knight. I mean, I guess you could recruit him. Yeah, why not? As long as he's converted, then it's not a problem. So let's go and do that. So we'll negotiate for his release. He's been in prison for 5 years. I think it's just because I forgot about him. Didn't know he was in there. I'm sorry, man. So with this character, I don't know who he is either. I assumed it's from this war here. So let's just go ahead and recruit him because he's an alright knight. I don't think we really need the hook, so yeah, we'll just recruit him. And then we've got this character here. He's another decent marshal and okay knight. Older guy though. Yeah, maybe we'll just replace our knight class here, although, you know, we want younger characters generally. And this guy's older, but yeah, that's fine. Now, Uber here, remember he's that former acclaimed knight who disrespected us. And so we were very angry with him, and that's why we threw him in prison. But maybe we've settled down a little bit over the last 39 days. We're not going to just like let him go without any penalty. You could banish him, but then he goes and fights for potentially our enemies or just anybody else. Could force him to take the vows. That would be an option, but I kind of like the idea of making him our executioner. Being like a dreadful character could be useful to have an executioner. And yeah, this is definitely a huge demotion from the acclaimed knight, one of the best knights in our realm, to just the lowly executioner. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not let him out. He won't like us, but he'll be fine. And nobody really likes our character, I suppose. And then we got this last character, the peasant leader. And he would make an okay knight, but he's also a rebel. And we're not exactly the most forgiving character. We have let some people out have done, things to us. Most of these weren't rebels. I don't think any of these are rebels, actually. And so in this case, you'd also have to demand his conversion. But I think in this case, we're probably just going to execute him for rebelling against us. And we're going to use our new public execution option since we have the executioner. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That gives us a plus 15 opinion as well. So that's pretty useful. Alright, excellent. So we'll see these all pop up here soon. And we do have to get the control going back up over there. We'll take a look at this event in a minute. Let's first set our marshal back over here. We got the control, actually it's down because of the rebellion. I was going to say we got it up to, but yeah, it was at 60 before, and now it's actually lower, unfortunately. Okay, so yeah, we got the event horses for courses. I suppose we won't read this since we're not even involved in this at all. Event wasted concessions. I don't know that we've seen this event before, and I think it does involve us, so we're going to read it. The contest in front of me is reaching a crescendo. The participants evenly matched. I grip the wooden railing in front of me and yell my appreciation along with the rest of the crowd. Said yell, however, swiftly turns to a strangled cry as I feel something trickling down my spine, some sort of fluid, something both hot and cold somehow. I spin on my heel to find myself confronted by Magnus, so this is our brother, his goblet swishing with the remains of the unidentified drink, currently crawling its way down my back. Now then, watch where you're going, he burbles, gesturing accusingly at me with the cup. You should be more careful. Yeah, that was disrespectful. As a raffle character, we probably would track him off. Yeah. And you see that's what our character clearly wants to do. Yeah, we're going to do that. Even though we have a good relationship with our brother, he can sometimes be the victim of our wrath as well. Okay, so we'll see who won this. See if maybe it's somebody we know. So it looks like it's this character here. That is one. Okay. So we don't know who this guy is. But yeah, good for him, I suppose. Alright, so next is the recital. I don't actually want to participate in this. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of wander around. We're not going to do tourney grounds. We're not going to do anything that might... I mean, you never know what might improve your chances of participating. But yeah, we're not really interested in participating in this. So let's just go to... and let's visit the village. Oldest Stone. A visit to Göttingen was exactly what I needed to relax before the contest. As I promenade through the streets, I see local children emulating a battle, using sticks as their weapons and yelling for the honor of my house. I stopped to admire one of the most prominent buildings, proudly standing in the middle of the square. As I inspected a bit closer, however, I quickly noticed some ancient inscriptions. So you say, ha, I've studied this ancient language. We'll gain 150 prestige, and this is due to our learning skill. You say that this stone would make fine walls back home. And then we'll be the owner of an ancient plaque, and we'll get 0.20 prestige per month, or we must keep learning from them. And then we'll get some development progress in Nancy, but a callous character might not want to do that. Yeah, we'll just go with this, get the prestige. Suppose that item might have been better over time. We did get some additional taxes here due to that Mayor Steward. We're not a big fan of that steward, but at least he's given us some benefit here. Wife's been pregnant for 5 months currently. And so we can do another event here. Let's go ahead and visit the tavern. So this event we've seen before, and so we could rile them up. They'll get wounded. That also has a 10% chance of increasing our intrigues. That's helpful. Or to say disgusting. I mean, we're not really interested in participating, but I don't know. It seems like we'd want to rile them up anyways. And we actually did increase the intrigue. 10% chance. Like, that kind of stuff never happens. We never get 10% chances and have them be successful. Alright, so we did get something in our inventory. Oh, did I select the wrong... yeah, I feel like I must have selected the wrong option here, because we do have the ancient plaque. Okay, well, is it better than anything we currently have? Let me just take a look here. Well, we'll keep the piety there. Yeah, we kind of like having all these bonuses here, but the scheme resistance, romance scheme resistance, I suppose that's not really necessary. It's a little bit more prestige. It's not a huge difference there, honestly. But why not? Alright, so we can do, it looks like maybe one more event. Yeah, we'll be able to do one more event. So let's go ahead and visit the artisan quarters. Why not? Maybe make a new purchase. So we find Conrad cutting a piece of cloth. I think we've seen this particular wording here. But yeah, we can go ahead and say that we can get some decoration for our great rawhide. That'll get a decorative ribbon, increasing prestige. You can say, are you asking me to pay for it? This is a prowess intrigue challenge, and we'll become the owner of this chess piece if we're successful. Lose opinion, but would we do that? Because we're not angry right now. We are callous and wouldn't really care, and we're kind of tyrannical. Certainly wouldn't just give him a gold piece. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. The prowess intrigue challenge. It's fitting. 90% chance we'll be successful here. We were able to intimidate him, and thus we did get the chess piece. Though, is it even something that we needed? Something that we'll actually put in place here. It is renown, and renown is sometimes harder to get. And so maybe we'll just replace... We'll just replace this ancient black here. Prestige is generally much easier to get. And I like the bonuses that we're getting with the other ones. Heidi's also a little bit harder to get. Compared to prestige anyways. We were rejected, no surprise there. And we're not going to place a bet. We'll say I wonder who wins. So really there wasn't any reason for us to go to this because we weren't able to arrive in time to be able to increase our chance of participating. And unfortunately, our wife was again unsuccessful in furthering her mandate there of getting us money. And so we'll just see who wins here. So we run into this character here. He's just a caravan master, so really nobody. I don't even know why we'd be talking to this guy here, but we run into him and he says he thinks that this character, this Count Bertram's going to win, so we can agree with him and then be closer to forming a friendship with him. Or we could say that instead is obviously Vigabert, which is that one giant, if you guys recall from a few episodes ago, that I wanted to recruit, not realizing that he was already a count. So I kind of feel like we'd just pick him just because of that. So yeah, let's go with that option. I believe that was our character, not our father, because I don't think it was that long ago. And so yeah, we'll pick that option, and we just like being contentious anyways. So it looks like it was actually Peter, so it was neither of those two characters. This character, Peter, won. He's a lowborn. Well, that's interesting. He's a poet, so I guess that makes sense that he won. He has at least some similar experience. So we got a conclusion event here. See who all, what all they won, I should say. And again, it was kind of a waste of time since nothing really happened there for us. And it just means we got to go through more travel events, as exciting as these are. But this is our daughter, so maybe a little bit more interesting than usual. And this is also one you don't generally see. So we can go and read it. Teeming with all manner of wildlife, Adelheid and I agree that Murden would be a splendid place to go on a hunt. While we don't have time to stay for a proper outing, as we traverse the area, I spot a pristine wild rabbit at the edge of the forest. It has a peculiar marking on its fur, and I motion to Adelheid to survey the animal. As she spots the rabbit, she grins. What would you say to a friendly wager, father? Whoever strikes that pristine fellow with an arrow wins. Yeah, we might have a little friendly bet with our daughter, though we might end up getting really upset if we lose. So we can say, sounds like a deal to me. It's a 99% chance that we're going to be the one to win here. I mean, she's got a prowess of 9 compared to our 24. She's 13 years old currently. So yeah, it's like a for sure win here. And you're closer to forming a friendship with her as well. You could also say, oh no, the sun is in my eye. And then we're basically going to let her win. Would we be the title let her win? Probably not. I don't think so. But we wouldn't go with this option either. I think we're going to do this. And yeah, I don't think we're going to lose this here. We're going to get the lucky rabbit's paw. She doesn't have any money to pass. So we don't actually need the lucky rabbit's paw. I guess we'll take a look at that in a minute here. And yeah, we won't read through this one. We basically did it. We were successful. And not a surprise there, guys. And we did have another daughter. Wow. Yeah, we keep having daughters. Okay, so we'll name her Ida. So no sons. I was planning on perhaps giving out a kingdom, maybe this one. I think this would be the one that makes the most sense. That was kind of one reason why I wanted to keep it in our hands, is to give it to a son. And we haven't had any other sons. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do there. Could do like a matrilineal marriage for one of your daughters and then give that to, you know, the guy you arrange a marriage with. And then that way it still stays in your dynasty. Because, yeah, there's not a lot of members of our dynasty. I'm not going to show the dynasty tree right now because there's not much to look at, guys. It's like not very impressive. Our dynasty has not had a lot of success expanding. So we can appoint this mayor here. This is a different mayor from before. But let me just see if there's anybody we can appoint to this Iron Knight title. Oh, just the guy who used to have it, the executioner. Okay, so we're not going to give it to him. So we just won't have an Iron Knight for a little while, which is unfortunate because these are some nice bonuses here. So yeah, that's a real shame, but maybe somebody else will pop up. What we could do once we get a bit of money is also try and do that decision to look for knights. Maybe one of them pops up and they're decent. I don't know. But yeah, we can go and appoint this mayor here to this position. He's old, so yeah, I don't know that he'll actually succeed to it. But he is, well, they're the same age. I was going to say a couple years younger. Yeah, he's actually the same age as them. This war is still ongoing. Remember, that's the one we want to pay attention to. We'll set the witch's tent on fire. Alright, so Regency has ended. But yeah, we need to watch this conflict to make sure that the Emperor doesn't lose it. No success finding secrets here, guys. And we've been there for a little while now at this point. Maybe we should move to another location. So we're going to move this over to his capital. Maybe we'll have more success with the Duke of Bavaria. Trying to get him into the faction. Just showing you guys what the that faction looks like currently. Which we only have is one Liberty faction against us, which is the Duke of Salerno. So not really a problem. We did get Piedmont back into the faction. So now you've got a pretty nice situation here. Yeah, we might end up doing that rebellion, guys. We'll have to see here. But there's some things you simply can't do when they're a minor. And so maybe there will be additional options opened up once he comes of age. If not, maybe we'll just rebel then. Or if we can get one more Duke in to the faction. Because I'd like to get somebody else in. Just kind of weaken the power of the HRE. Because, you know, they're going to be a serious threat when we come out of, when we pull out of the country or the empire. We'll have France on one side and the HRE on the other, and they could be a problem. And so reducing their power by a bit more, like the King of Bohemia, would also be pretty useful. He's really old, though. So at this point, you kind of got to start working on his heir. Now, one thing I did just notice is that Prince Magnus is now the one set up to become the Holy Roman Emperor. That'd be interesting. Would result in us losing this territory, Alsace here, which would be unfortunate. But as long as she keeps Luxembourg, it's not too big of an issue. Let's see what happens there. We are allied to her, so we can... Well, we can't help her in every rebellion. Yeah, we'd only be able to help her in the one type. If it's a peasant rebellion. Alright, so unfortunately we're sick. Happens in life. So yeah, do no more than what is necessary here. And apparently he did a good job and reduced our disease symptoms. I luckily haven't been sick in a while, though I have been coughing for some reason. Yeah, we're already better. I've actually been causing some issues with the recordings because I can't get through a video without coughing all the time. I don't know what it is, because I'm not sick. Like when I'm not recording and talking a lot, I don't have any problems with the coughing. It's only when I'm talking a bunch I start coughing. I do need to move these troops because remember they were over here before, and so now they're gonna have to get moved over to here because I don't have a position since we gave that county out. But yeah, I've just been having a weird cough lately whenever I'm talking a lot. Oh, so we're choking again on over here, and there is a good chance we're gonna die. So I think these are those death events. We are not an old guy here. We're 35. We were expecting to rule for much longer. If we do the try to cough it out, it is a very good chance we die. 80%. Or, and remember we had gotten an event that kind of, okay, I didn't know. I thought maybe that might have been one of those precursor events. But we got that event about almost choking, but nothing really happened. So this is one of those death chains, and they kind of warn you that it's coming. And yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought, maybe that's part of these death chains that people have been complaining about, because apparently it kills all your characters. I haven't seen it that much yet, but this might be one of the first ones here. So yeah, very good chance we die here. This one, you have a 60% chance of living, though you do gain a lot of stress, so we'll go with that one. Thump at your chest and lungs and see what happens. We survived, but I don't like how it says you're spared for now. Apparently our character is like a baby and can't eat without choking themselves, which if you ever had a baby, then you know it's like every time they're at mealtime, every time they're eating, it's like they're trying to kill themselves. Or at least that's what our kids were. They were just piling food into their mouths. And you always had to watch them though they didn't choke on just regular old food. Not even food that like you have to worry about your kids choking on. But like just putting too much food in there. And then you're over here trying to like save their life when they are choking and pull the food out. And they're getting upset because you're taking food from them. And it's like, I'm trying to save your life, child. But yeah, every meal was potentially a risk of losing my child. And apparently our character is the same way. He just gets so excited when he's eating. He's just piling food in his throat and choking on it. So is this the next character trait for our son and heir, Gerard? Looks like it. So he's got the greedy right now. Remember, he's already cynical. We could change the greedy over to just or over to callous. I don't know, I kind of like doing the greedy. Yeah, we'll do that. And also, we already have a lot of stress as well. Is there anything we can do to reduce that stress? No. We can go ahead and invite some knights over here, though. I'm going to try this out, see if we can't find some good knights. We haven't taken that decision yet either. We can also ask our head of faith for gold. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Spend that 250 piety to do so. Gets 419 gold. Money's been a consistent issue for us. So yeah, we've gotten the money. And we'll wait until we get the knights before we spend this, since we don't know how many of these we're going to want to hire. Our brother has finally finished his education. He didn't do very well. That's because we trained him, and you know, we weren't the greatest at stewardship or at learning for that matter either. So yeah, he could have done much better. He's just a thrifty clerk, but he has a 12 stewardship, and so now he'll be able to marry the Duchess of Lombardy. She's 26. And she's been on her own for a long time now. I'm sure she's excited that her husband is finally, or her betrothed, has finally come of age. And so they're going to go ahead and get married. Let's go and arrange that now. And so he'll leave our lands and go and become the Duke over there. Of course, he doesn't rule in his own right. He rules next to his wife. But this was a regular marriage here. So this will result in our dynasty taking over the titles there, and that's in Lombardy. It looks like we're already allied to her as well. Alright, so this is the first knight who has arrived here. Okay, so he's Catholic and he's from Iberia over here. So yeah, we'll hire him as long as he's not too expensive. Because obviously, we don't pay him an insane amount of money. 100 gold, that's about fair. So yeah, we're going to recruit him. And we'll hire all three of these knights if they're decent. We need to improve our knights. And looks like this vassal, wow, has already lost his title, or is gonna lose his title. I gave him 2 counties, and he got overthrown by this guy. Maybe I should have gave it to him, I don't know. But yeah, it looks like in this particular war, it's gonna end up going to his son. So you have a boy over there and he'll probably lose it too, and then his brother will probably end up being, yeah, it is what it is, guys. Alright, so I was hoping giving him those, you know, he had already had a county, and giving him a new county that's already been converted and had the control up. I just thought that would be enough, but apparently it was not. He's not doing well there. Alright, so we're gonna keep trying. We did just get there. This is just, you know, to try and get the strong hook, and it's not on who we need it on. which is the Duke of Bavaria. So we'll keep trying there. And looks like he did lose his position there. And so now the Duke is a boy, Balthazar. Okay, it is what it is. So hoping that wouldn't go down that way, but that's exactly what's happened. It looks like Gottfried was imprisoned as well. So I don't know what this was over. Well, that war was over, but yeah, he was in prison, so clearly he lost the conflict. Let me see, can we... It was during a siege. Is he still in the conflict? No. Okay, I was kind of curious what happened there. Maybe he lost a title? Let's take a look here. I think he might have already had that there, so yeah, that's his capital. So yeah, I don't think he actually lost anything. I don't know what that war is over. But apparently somebody's too scared to speak their mind. Is this our marshal? Yeah. What a wise decision, my liege. Truly, I have nothing to add. So he fears me too much to contradict my decisions. It makes him rather useless as a marshal. So they say, perfect, my council should fear me. Probably how we'd feel. And then we get the cowering counselors, which reduces their abilities. It just makes them worse overall. You get the 100 intrigue lifestyle points and you get more dread. Where's our dread at currently? Still pretty high, sitting at 97. Where you say, I'll do your job myself, you fool. He'll become our rival. And we'll get increased martial, but also increased stress gain. And he'll be fired from our council. He's not a powerful vassal. Or you say, speak your mind freely, your position is safe. And then he cannot be removed from the council for 5 years. This is an intrigue challenge against him. And if he trusts us enough to speak freely, which is a 95% chance, he'll actually increase his martial ability and we'll get increased opinion with him. So any of these options will result in that intrigue lifestyle points. So which would our character do? I mean, we're not really... I mean, he might be a little angry that he's not speaking his mind, I suppose. We are a dreadful character, so maybe we do want our council to fear us. But we've also proven to be a character that can delegate. You know, we delegate leadership of our armies. We delegate all the time to whoever might be better at a job. We're an intelligent character that knows what we don't know, and are willing to put people in power to do those jobs. And so maybe we'd say this: speak your mind freely, because we're not the most arrogant character. And so yeah, it's a 95% chance we'll be successful. We can guarantee his job here for 5 years. I don't want to replace him. We just gave him that title. Or it wasn't given a title, but we gave him a new vassal. And so yeah, I think it's worth doing. Plus it's going to make him like us more. And we really do need to get people to like us more. My vassal, Countess Goto, has honored me with a visit and has brought one of her courtiers along. Goto approaches me excitedly. Remember, she's down here in Iberia, in that one county. Well met, King Gerard. It pleases me to see you thriving here in Nancy. It occurred to me that Abdul Razak here might be of service in your court. He is an incredibly talented scholar, the brightest I have ever learned from. I would make use of him myself, but alas, it doesn't seem possible. I would hate to see his great talent go to waste. Won't you take him in and unleash his potential? I feel like our character's intrigue base might be distrusting of this. Like she's just trying to get him into our court. And we don't really have a place for him anyways. He does have really good learning, but he's also 60 years old. So probably just politely decline and gain the prestige and get closer to form a rivalry with her, upset her a little bit. She'll be alright. Alright, so we're trying to get through the year here. We did get an intrigue perk. Also, there's a feast we are invited to. We do need to reduce our stress. Oh, this gets you another hostile scheme. Right, excellent. We're not actually doing any hostile schemes. Oh no. Our mother killed herself. Not in suicide, but did things that resulted in her own death. Should word that differently, I suppose. So we're still waiting for those knights to pop up here. Still trying to endorse the Prince Bishop as well, not having a lot of success there. And of course we know we'll lose land if Prince Magnus succeeds to the Holy Roman Empire. So we'll have to see what happens there. It's a boy emperor though, so I mean, it's not a high chance that... but he could get replaced here through this because it looks like he's losing this war. So clearly that's what we're going to have to use our money for. I was keeping this to hire knights, and we'll still do that. And then I was going to get a building constructing, but I guess we're going to have to get involved in this conflict, guys. There's no way around it. We'll let the year finish up, and then we're going to have to join the Emperor's conflict. Again, protecting the Empire, doing his job for him. Just kind of unfortunate. People don't recognize our own imperial claim here. So yeah, we're going to have to help him out in this conflict so he doesn't lose it. And so now we're involved, and we'll have to bring our troops across here to fight these rather large armies. Well, that's concerning. In fact, we probably can't defeat those guys. And we can help out some, but I can see why he's losing. Where are his troops? Way over here. With the assistance of his troops, we could win. But alone, we could not do that. Alright, so yeah, we'll want to raise the troops. We might wait a little bit until he gets a little closer, but then he might not come over here because he knows he can't win. You can try and, like, snipe out armies here, but, yeah, they'd probably all just come to the battle and you'd lose it. It's far too many troops here. We have the potential to get 8,200, but currently only have 7,500. And this is a lot more than that. That's, what, like 10,000 troops, something like that? It's a lot. It's more than 10,000. So yeah, this would, we would not win with what we have. Even with like a really good commander. Yeah, we're not going to win that. And so we have to get the assistance of his army here. And maybe he'll head over here if we bring our troops near. We could also go after his capital. And maybe that's the better way to go. Until he gets over here. His troops. I'm saying he, when obviously he's not leading his troops because he's a boy and he's in our prison currently. Whoever's leading his army at the moment. But yeah, we're gonna have to help him out in the next episode, guys. So that we don't end up having our prisoner, you know, replaced, which is a real possibility here, replaced as emperor by the Salian family. We do not want them back in power. So yeah, we will see what we can do next episode. Hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. We hope to see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.